everybody. So I have some exciting news in today's video. So in the past I have done a handful of videos on NEVS. I want to start off by talking a little bit about NEVS, but before I do that, I did want to mention that if you guys are following me on Instagram at auto.autopsy, you might see that I actually changed my logo. If you remember what it was before, it was basically an outline of just a random car that I made back when I started the channel just about 2 years ago. And people have asked before, why don't you have a Saab? Why isn't that a Saab? Why isn't that this? Why isn't that that? And I always thought about it, but I never really considered it. And thankfully a subscriber reached out to me and actually made the edit for me, and it's great. So obviously it's a Turbo X. So anyways, I'm excited for the new logo. I do need to make some merch out of it though. If any of you have any experience with something like that, please feel free to email me or DM me on Instagram. But with that being said, let's get into this video. So NEVS. NEVS is basically the only thing that we have left that resembles Saab. Those of you who are unaware, NEVS stands for National Electric Vehicle Sweden, and the company is based in China. To my knowledge, it's about a half Swedish, half Chinese company, but the good thing is there's a lot of former Saab employees that do work for NEVS now. So my first video I released on NEVS was just kind of an overview of the company. It's still a very new company, and when I made that video, they had plans to make an electric car, but there wasn't anything formalized. There wasn't any car to show for that yet. And then I made a video on the prototype that they came out with, and now of course they have their production model ready. So as you can tell, the NEVS 9.3 looks very similar to the last 9.3. It's just got a few different styling traits to it, such as the different fog light design, I guess you could say. The hood is very raised, which a lot of people are complaining about, and I can see where they're coming from with that. But it does look just looks like it's just hot. I don't know how to explain it. Just doesn't look right. A lot of Saab enthusiasts gripe with NEVS, outside of them not being Saab anymore, is that they're electric. And you know, I hate to break it to you guys that don't like electric cars, but you're gonna have to embrace it, because Volvo's moving to all electric. Of course, Tesla is just such a big and important company now in the automotive market, and there's more and more companies that are offering electric versions of their cars, or trying to do more with hybrids and whatnot. So I think NEVS definitely made the right choice with making electric vehicles. And so let me give some specs on the car here. There's not a whole lot of information. There's more information than there was from the last video I made. Prices start at about 170,000 yuans, which is the Chinese currency, which translated to American dollars is just under 25 grand. So for an electric car, that's really good. That's really good. I do also want to state that for now, this car will only be sold in China. Their plans are to move to the European market after China, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, they're doing well, they can come to the United States and North America. So for you European subscribers, hopefully you guys will get to see NEVS 9.3s on the road in maybe, you know, another 3, 4, 5 years. But for us Americans, we might have to wait another decade. So 0 to 60 time. When I made my last NEVS video, I think I said that 0 to 60 was somewhere around 8, 9, 10, 11 seconds, something like that. Something that was abysmal and embarrassing. But turns out the 0 to 60 time estimated is sub 6 seconds. For an electric car, that's very right on par with something like a Model 3. And this is cheaper than a Model 3 now. Is that going to hold up to the same build quality as Tesla? Does it have all the features of Tesla? No. But a sub 6 second 0 to 60 is not bad at all. I believe they tested it at 5.5 or so. So top speed is only 140 kilometers an hour, and a lot of people complained about that too. But I mean, really think about it. How often are you going to be driving your car, or how often do you drive your car at a speed that exceeds that, or is really anywhere near that? On the interstates here, the most you can really do is 75. The speed limits on all the highways in Phoenix here are 65 miles an hour. So from the electric motor, it gets about 130 kilowatts and 280 newton meters of torque. So not bad, but the max range of the car is 355 kilometers. Not on par with something like a Model 3 necessarily, but really not that bad. The interior looks a lot more modern than the last 9.3s did. They really did a good job modernizing that interior while not changing a whole lot. The entire new dash is better. The cup holders are now down where they should be. down by the shifter, and they look very nice. Two big cup holders. But you can see when you really look at the details, this car still looks like it shares a good amount of parts with the last 9.3, which I think, as a new generation 9.3 owner, I think that's pretty cool. A lot of people will see that as a negative because they're just GM parts, they're old parts, all this, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So now that I've given some more details on the 9.3 itself, I want to get into the actual reason for making this video. So NEVS initially stated earlier in 2018 that their cars would be coming off the production line in June. It's obviously now November and no cars have come off the production line, but they have finally gotten clearance to begin producing cars, which means that they are now the 10th car manufacturer in the country of China. So they're also finishing up a new production plant or factory for these cars that should be done by the end of this year. So once that's done, you'll really start to see all this stuff starting to roll out, and we'll really start to see these hit the road. I don't think there's really any road tests of them out there yet, but I'm excited to see what's gonna happen with these cars. So I wanna go ahead and visit their website really quick, because despite it all being in Chinese, unfortunately, there is still some cool stuff that we can look at. So here we are on the NEVS website. I went ahead and had Google Chrome try to translate this page for me. It didn't work super well. So this whole first part doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip this, but I want to get down under specifications. It just talks about base price, production year, warranty, 4 years or 120,000 kilometers. That's pretty standard, I'd say. 4 doors, 5 seats. Now, one thing I find really funny with this translator is drive form, which I'm assuming means like front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. It says front predecessor, which means front wheel drive. I think that's pretty funny. You get 17-inch wheels with the car, so not bad. It's not going to look too bad with those 17s on it. So they just have a lot of infographics of the car on here. Unfortunately, all in Chinese. I really wish I could translate all this, but it's not going to happen. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. There's a really good shot of the dashboard right there with the nice infotainment. It looks like a full screen for the instrument cluster. That's really nice. I like that a lot. So with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for NEVS, and if you're happy to see that we have something that resembles Saab that will be back out on the road soon. Unfortunately not in Europe or America, but for now it'll just be in China, and then of course they plan on expanding to Europe. And hopefully after that, fingers crossed, all of you European people and subscribers buy this car so that way they can come over to the United States and I can see some for myself. So with that being said, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Check your body.